Welcome to Tavern Talk, your one-stop shop for everything Wheel of Time. We are a live talk show. We are full spoilers, and we do deep dives each and every Sunday, so please hit that like and subscribe button. Joining me as always is my dancing brother Dan.
I'm doing the pogo. Remember the pogo, Ryan?
Oh, yeah. Jeez, that looks so inappropriate.
Are you wearing
pogo or the pole?
Oh, who's asking?
All right,
are you wearing pants?
The full Tavern Talk crew is here.
I'm wearing Kanye West's wife's style pants.
Oh, wow.
Wow, you went there. Wow.
What style is that?
Naked style.
It's the nude mas pantalones.
Okay. All right. The Emperor wears no clothes. We are, let me just introduce everyone. Brother Dan, Beth Dolman, Cadsuane, Sedai, Jansen the Gleeman, and Tavern Tavern. The full crew is here. This is awesome. This is a rarity. I'm so stoked to see everybody.
That's when you were born for tonight.
This is the role of my life, really.
You look stunning.
I was going to wear the same outfit.
The first time I was ever made aware of you is you walked by me, I think at WatCon, in full Cadsuane regalia.
Mm-hmm. I was at a JordanCon.
JordanCon.
Yeah,
white, like powdered face, powdered hair, lipstick, full beard. I was enamored.
It was great.
It was so good.
It was my this was my first cosplay ever, so I was really nervous about it. And I thought, well, at the time I was going by a different, kind of like character name as well. And then when I got there, I thought Cadsuane is, my favorite character. And so I did this cosplay, and then that's where I got the name Dadswain. Everyone just started calling me Dadswain.
So good.
I embraced it.
All I have to say is I am glad that you are here because I have a feeling these folks up here on this top row with me are going to be trying to do some shenanigans about why not to like.
Oh,
Who do you see in your top row?
The puppets.
Okay.
The puppets.
All
They
right.
are going to try to wreak havoc and sow dissent and discord into the loving and being enamored of Cadsuane, Sedai, the good, the bad, all of it.
Yeah.
She can do no wrong. So I'm just letting you know.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a fun show because I think she does several things wrong.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing to say in a non-positive light about Cadsuane. The woman gave up half of menopause to make Rand smile. All right,
I think
that was her sacrifice.
Half a menopause.
Yeah, she gave up half of menopause.
There's got to be some other level to menopause. First off, let's take the men out of menopause. Doesn't make any sense. But when you're 300 years old, like, what is it at that stage?
I would really like to not talk about this because it's too close to home. It's a real life situation for me right now.
Listen,
so let's not talk about
at
menopause.
Right?
At Cadsuane's age, it's more like manowaropause.
Yeah.
Well, it's
All
weird
right,
that she always seems like she's PMSing. Am I right, boys?
Okay.
Well, wait, what?
I didn't go there. I didn't say that.
All right, so
I was just kidding. It's sarcasm.
all right, let's lay our cards out. Jansen, what are your feelings? And actually, I have a poll going live. How do you feel about Cadsuane? Please give us your opinion. Jansen, what is your overall opinion of this woman?
Well, in Randland, in the Wheel of Time, we have a lot of different designations for a lot of different kinds of characters.
Yeah.
One of those designations is living legend.
Yeah.
It's something we have not talked about in a long time. Now, there are a few living legends actually walking the earth at this time. One, by default, is Randolph.
Was Tavern, of course.
Randolph Thor was a legend 3,000 years before he was even born, and now that he is born, he is by all Definitely.
Is he the
The actual
dragon boy that
true
lived?
living legend of living legend.
Dragon
So he's one of them. But we have other ones too, like Jane Farstrider.
Mhm.
Yes.
We also, who is definitely a living legend. We have Bergana, who is a living legend. But we have Cadsuane Sedai, Cadsuane Malidran, who is also one of those living legends. She is one of the few characters that has been mentioned in every single book. And she's also one of those characters I like to call a standalone kind of character.
Yeah.
You could write a book about Cadsuane right now.
Yep.
You should.
You could have a prequel or a film about Cadsuane right now.
All right. So what book did she make her appearance?
7.
New Spring.
All right. So she
No,
made her
right.
appearance in 7, but we heard about her for 6 other books.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was in New Spring, so she was in the prologue to everything. She
And
was
we
in the
can also
prologue, and
talk
she
about
ends in the epilogue. So essentially, she's been around the entire story.
And she has also been mentioned in the show.
Yes.
That is true.
Hey,
So-
it has been. I'm sorry, real quick. Spare time.
Spare
Wow.
time.
It's been.
It's
some
been
time. Hey,
Long
hey,
time
thanks-
since we've seen to you.
Thanks for sparing some time to check in. Also, I got to keep interrupting. Matt Stagger.
Matt Stagger.
Man, yeah.
Love,
Ryan!
love.
Uh-huh.
That was sexy. That was sexy.
Audacity.
Uh-huh.
Play it again.
Oh, really? You want
Yes,
to-
yes. Give us.
Love
So
that.
good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So good.
Oh, yeah.
So good. All right. Thank you.
I got a toner out of that.
So, and I heard some of the things that everyone's talked about. Now, I love being a neutral type of person. This is one of the reasons why I've always been an independent voter. I am not taking any sides on whether or not Cadsuane is good or bad or had problems or not. Now, granted, yes, I do think there are things that Cadsuane did wrong. Rand himself acknowledged that, and so did she. So yes, she did do a couple things wrong, but we have to understand the kind of character that Cadsuane is, and this is one of the reasons why I like this character. She was trained differently than everyone else. In fact, she states in one of her own POVs that it was a toothless wilder in the Black Hills that gave her some of the greatest lessons of her life.
Norla, right?
I believe that was her name.
That was her name, yeah.
And
Norla.
that
That's right.
that alone says so much about this character, who is an Aes Sedai. We see so many Aes Sedai looking with their noses in the air above so many people and not caring about other people. That wasn't what Cadsuane was. Cadsuane cared about the person way more than their station in life or, whatever, acknowledgments or achievements or
But
crowns
did
that
she
they had.
though,
She did.
Jansen?
So let me piggyback on what Jansen is saying right here.
Yes,
okay?
please.
Cadsuane was masterful at reading people and reading the room and using her reputation to instill respect or fear, whatever you wanted to call it. But I mean, like, people would think that she had eyes in the back of her head, but like, she had her little sewing basket and it had a mirror on it, and she would lift the lid up so she could see when people walked in behind her. Everything she did was on purpose. She
Was
did everything intentional. But-
Can I suggest that everything she did was controlling?
No, that's not
And-
true, because she
I
did not
can
want
refute that.
power. She did not want power. She walked away from being the Amyrlin seat twice.
That because
Time.
and Dick Cheney wasn't president, but he's
Here, here.
it's.
I
Well,
would,
all right,
I
all
would
right.
argue
Leave it.
that she.
All right,
I
so-
would argue that she wanted personal power, interpersonal power,
Mhm.
any
She wanted-
interpersonal interaction.
She
had
owned
to
every
be-
room on purpose, right?
I-
She walked in and was not subservient to anyone.
All right, let's
anyone.
go to Jansen because he raised his hand
yeah, I'm sorry.
respectfully.
Sorry.
So I have a really good comparison that shows something about Cadsuane's character. When Swan Sanche and Lyanna Sharif were, depowered and then got their powers back, and other Aes Sedai like Ramonda and Lyanna tried to take them in as their courtiers or their entourage, their people, they put them in menial positions, like holding their purse or their cloak or going to get them tea, coffee, things like that. In fact, a lot of Aes Sedai did this to a lot of Aes Sedai who were younger, who were less powerful than them,
Right.
meaning less weaker. If you remember who the weakest Aes Sedai was, her name was Daigion.
Yep, Daigion. She was yellow Aja.
There is a
white Aja.
POV.
White.
Cadsuane used
White.
her and even knew her strengths, her weaknesses, and said she was brilliant. And
Yep.
she used Daigion's position as being the lowest, as knowing that Daigion could sit there and understand and know everything that happened in a room without them even thinking about her.
All right, Tavern. Okay, I don't like the hand raising. I was.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to cut anybody off. So
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I agree with a lot of what I'm hearing. My view on Cadsuane is this, and we discussed it on what?
He raised both hands, you little asshole.
Oh, I missed
You
it.
jerk.
So we've talked about it on the show before how the Aes Sedai of this time, right, of the current time in the books, very complacent and stagnant in their learning and how they teach, right? This is the way we've done it. This is the way we've always done it. We talk about Nynaeve pulling different elements that they never even thought of for healing, that kind of stuff, right? Cadsuane built up this reputation of being a hard ass, and what came with that? She was left the F alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then with the people that she surrounded herself with, to Jansen's point, they weren't because she needed servants, like you said, they were because they were the best at what they did.
Yep.
She was learning. Her power draw was knowledge.
Yep.
Right? Because when she got to Rand, thinking, okay, I've got to freaking control this kid so that I can see what I'm freaking working with here. And she got there and she saw that they had fucked it up so bad that she had to rethink her whole strategy while still trying to maintain her freaking facade, right, of being a badass. But she was like in shock at how much pain and how freaking retreated he was because of how he had been treated.
Yep.
The woman was a freaking genius.
And she also knew her weaknesses.
Yeah.
When she compared
100.
herself to Summerhog, and I think it's the Gathering Storm.
Mm-hmm.
When she compares her, she knew what she had to look at herself and say, what would it take to break me?
Me.
Mhm.
Yep.
And she saw her flaws. Like,
And that was
she knew
one
what
of
it
the
was.
best moments in the entire book, honestly. I think in that moment, watching Semirog be humbled, like the Super Bowl, be humble, sit down. She basically
They're not like us. That's all.
Yeah. So I mean, it's great that you're defending Cadsuane by comparing her to a Forsaken. She relate. Okay, so
Yeah.
like,
Well
we
done.
go.
I
Well,
think
because the Forsaken, because Semirog was herself a legend, and she held that legendary status as, a dark legend, of course. Everyone was terrified of her because she was a torturer, a corrupter. People gnawed their own arms off to get away from Semirog. So I think the comparison is not necessarily that Cadsuane was saying, oh yeah, I'm just like this Forsaken, but that status of people seeing you on this completely different level, she understood that about herself and was trying to. She could recognize that in Semirog. So
Listen, for the Age of Legends, when you talk about living legends, right? It's basically having a memorable name or a household name. In the Age of Legends, yeah, they all knew the Forsaken's name, the Chosen or whatever, right? In this age, everybody knows Cadsuane's name, right? Everybody knows Jane Farstrider. They are basically on equivalent freaking levels, not in power maybe, but at least in status.
Now, that brings another question that I will ask all of you. we never, ever, ever, we heard of we saw so many Aes Sedai do so many different feats and go through so many different journeys or, do so many adventures. But we never, ever heard of an Aes Sedai being chosen by the Horn.
Yep.
Does Cadsuane make it into the...
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I don't think so.
All right. So I've bit my tongue enough.
Are there any?
No.
Wait, in that group?
That's why
There are no
Nynaeve should have
channelers in
made
that
it
group.
as the healer, but I don't think Nynaeve...
Okay, no, I think that's a great poll. I'm actually going to make that a poll. I think it's a valid question. Is Cadsuane a hero of the Horn? All right, so
Bruno made it. No, I'm just kidding.
So we've had 15 votes, and 40% say they love Cadsuane. 38% said they love Cadsuane. 25% say they sort of love. 12% sort of hate. 25% say they hate.
That hate number is pretty freaking high. Holy shit.
All right, well let me defend that position if I may for just 2 minutes, please. Yeah, I voted several times. I created burners. All right, so here's the deal. The Aes Sedai that we see, Taverin, contrary to your argument that they are humble, they are absolutely not. They may be complacent, but they are arrogant, very domineering people, and they are all just trying to act like Cadsuane. Cadsuane is the most arrogant, domineering of all arrogant dominants. Dominance.
I don't know about that. There's some pretty arrogant Aes Sedai.
Oh, and if Cadsuane walked into a room, she would humble them.
I would say she's domineering. I don't think she's arrogant.
No, I would
she
say...
absolutely is.
Yeah,
No,
I think she's arrogant.
No, I don't think she's arrogant. She surrounds herself with...
She says, I will make that boy laugh again. What the... are we past 20 minutes? Yeah. What the fuck is she talking about? Seriously, it's like, yeah, I guess she said she was wrong so many times. She almost got Tam Althor killed.
Brother Dan.
Yeah. Hi, Beth.
So let's rein it in for a second. Okay.
She is a bully and Tam called her out. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And that's fine. She was well-intentioned by going to get Tam.
Ryan, what did our mom used to say? Do you remember? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Oh, wait.
Okay. Are you done?
My real mom. Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Right, wait.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I do not want to.
I don't think he's done.
Whether you like
I'm just
her methods.
There's more in there.
Okay, this is the deal. Whether you like her methods or the way she got it done, every single person knew she was right before the end of it. Nynaeve went to her. Min went to her because they knew that Rand was turning into stone and he needed to be broken to remember how to feel again. And it was ultimately Cadsuane working with those people to help break Rand. It needed to happen. And whether you like her methods or not, this is the thing. I can guarantee you that if any of us were alive for 300 years and survived the shit that she survived and earned the respect and the status of the people around you, you would take advantage of all of that. You would, whether you like her or not. She does not mince words. She is forthright. Or what's the word I'm looking for?
Forthright. Yeah, no, you're right.
She doesn't dance around topics. She's straightforward. She tells you what she thinks about you. And if she respects you, she's your biggest champion. Like that time when Min was reading the book from Herod Fell.
About Calendor?
The one about Calendor. And she said, I don't think, because everybody was like, it's the cities or whatever. And she's like, I really think it's two women. And Cadsuane turns to her and says, Yes, of course it is, dear. Good job. Like, she basically praises men for reading and being smart. If Cadsuane is in your corner, you will not have a better advocate. If you piss Cadsuane off, you better watch out, because come hell or high water, she will make sure that you know that. Think about what she did to the leader of
how about
the city she's from. What's the city she's from?
Farmatting.
Farmatting. Think about what she did to break the leader of Farmatting.
Yeah, she bullied him. Yeah, for sure. You go ahead, Cadsuane. I see your hands up.
From prison.
I love
Go ahead, Des.
I actually think, and this is funny, that there's only one guy in the entire book who could have really, truly. I mean, of course, Rand did it. Rand's the Dragon Reborn. But I think only one other person could have maybe not humbled her, but showed her up.
Will Alcine.
No.
Tim
Althor.
This is the reason why Robert Jordan never wrote a scene with her and Matt in it.
Oh, right.
Fair. That could be fair.
Because I think the only thing that he could have written about Cadsuane with Matt is that Cadsuane might have flirted with Matt. And I think that Sora Leah might have done the exact same thing with Matt too.
Oh, if she were a plumper.
No, she would have wrapped him in air. Tried to.
I mean, because remember, the other wise ones like Matt too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Cadsuane.
I was going to say a couple things. There was another Aes Sedai when Egwene was in the White Tower, and she was kind of taking her punishments and stuff. There was, I can't remember which Aes Sedai, but she gave her the slipper, whatever, the chancla, and then she said, I don't know if it was Sylviana. I think it was somebody else. And then I think because she said something during a lesson, and that Aes Sedai ended up punishing her. But she was kind of like, I think you might give Cadsuane, a run for her money. Yeah, basically. So Egwene might have also. There was no scene between Egwene and Cadsuane, and I wonder.
Well, there was one. The only scene that they were in together was
in the tent.
In the tent.
Right.
I also think if you look back on Cadsuane's a couple of like key moments in her life before she met the Wilder and got her paralysis net and her start on whatever, she admitted herself that she was full of her own power. I think she was kind of arrogant. I think she had that Aes Sedai arrogance. She knew as soon as she went through and got the ring and the shawl that she was going to be the top tier. There were no other Aes Sedai who even stood close to her in strength and the power. And so that put her at the very top. And then she met this Wilder who humbled her and also gave her gifts. And so she basically came out of that with a different mindset, I think. She was sort of there. And then I also remember that Soraya Bagand was kind of that same level of fear, like everybody was kind of like, oh god. And there was a coup to get Soraya out of the Amyrlin seat, and they went to Cadsuane to try to get her because those two did not get along. But Cadsuane basically turned the coup on its head, dragged them into the Amyrlin's chambers, and was kind of like, these bitches are trying to get you out of your seat. And the Soraya Bagand was really pissed at Cadsuane for kind of saving her. So I think if you read into that, there's a principle that Cadsuane has. She could have gone, with the coup. She could have just, whatever. But she basically like tore the coup down because she believed in the tower more, or she had something that she believed in more.
She also didn't want to be Amyrlin either.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I mean, think about it. What happens to Aes Sedai that stay in and around the tower? Right? They get pulled into tower politics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? They get stuck in this day-to-day routine that Aes Sedai have. Moraine, for example, was away for 20 years, did whatever she needed to do. Think about that. Cadsuane was smart enough to not only get everybody to be scared of her, right? But she managed to get away from the tower and make it so nobody wanted her to come back to the tower.
Yep.
That's the smartest thing. It's probably one of the smartest Aes Sedai, period.
All right, so I think this is a valid question. Let's dive into this. What what if she were Amyrlin?
Well, she is now.
Yeah, but and so we can.
Oh, do you mean during the time with Rand and all this stuff?
I'm saying like, she denied it, and we're all like praising her, but maybe she should have been Amyrlin.
Well, I also think that she was subversive within what she was doing, right? It wasn't. She wasn't being necessarily supportive. She was a rebel.
Rogue.
She was rogue. She was Bernie Sanders in this whole thing. She was
what's wrong?
She was Maverick.
Here's something else that's never been said. I don't think that we should mistake the difference between being the most intelligent or the most strongest person. I don't think that Cadsuane knew everything. She did.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she was intelligent.
Yeah, but her and Sora Lee, as far as anybody, I don't think there's anybody stronger, with the exception of maybe Swan Sanche in the books. As far as being strong.
But Jensen, so let's look at her growth, right? She was a bully to Aes Sedai for the most part. She tried to bully Rand. Rand said, "Fuck off. I don't want to see your face anymore." She then, quote unquote, humbled herself by just hanging out in the back. But then she had her own cabal where she was doing the same shit. She was a bully. She was... she's like, men, that's a brilliant reading. Of course, I already know that. It's like, what? Come on, what?
I don't know if everybody is familiar with basketball, but if you know who Jerry West is, they call him the logo. He's powerful.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty much what Cadsuane is for an Aes Sedai. Of course, she had a cabal going. She was an Aes Sedai. She was the Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
So she had all machinations, all those things, because she was an Aes Sedai.
Every Aes Sedai has machinations.
Yeah, and Cadsuane had more than anybody else.
She was a Taylor Swift
at the time.
When I look at her growth, I see that she humbles Semiraj by saying, "How would I really hate this? Oh, I would hate to eat dog food off a fucking floor. Okay, I'll make her do that. Oh, it worked. Oh, okay. Yeah, Rand, I won't force this stuff, but I'm still gonna puppet master shit." And I say that, Ryan, with all due respect.
You just threw
Again,
wow. Okay.
there.
But
I mean, her growth, I don't see how she has like evolved and been like, I'm not going to be a bitch anymore. She at the table, at a restaurant, at the restaurant, she is the one that's sending back her chicken pot pie.
Now. I'm offended.
Let people answer them.
And is principled is not a bitch.
No, the way that she is a bully.
No, she's not a bully.
She's not a bully.
Tam Althor called it perfectly.
She made a bad decision when it came to Tam Althor because she didn't know how Rand would react to Tam being there the way he was brought there. She tried to treat Tam exactly as she treats everyone else, and Tam says, "This is really fucked up," and she actually listened. This is the thing, though. Do you think Cadsuane would be in the position that she was in if people didn't put her there? No.
Yep.
She earned that place.
She did.
Because of her experiences, because of her abilities in maneuvering in political machinations, and for being approachable by people. People went to her for advice. It wasn't like she was like calling on high and summoning people to her. She did that, but that's because people put her in that position.
Well,
they looked up to her because of her reputation.
That paralysis net was property of the White Tower. It should have been returned. It was long overdue.
Okay, fine. But she earned her reputation. She did not weave stories about what she did and and embellish what she's done.
She talks, Beth, she talks down to everyone.
No, she does not.
That was
but everyone.
Not.
My biggest problem with Cadsuane was that she could never acknowledge other people.
Yep.
She had a stubbornness not to acknowledge the good things that other people did.
Yep.
But that's not true either, though.
No, I disagree with it.
I disagree with that.
Very much so.
I mean, look at the people she surrounded herself with.
I have examples.
All right, go. Keep going, Jensen.
My examples are one, Avienda saved her life. And she still was too stubborn to just say thank you.
Yep. I don't remember that, but yep.
Perfect example.
I heard her say thank you.
My other stubbornness is even after Rand stood on his own grave and found himself again. She still couldn't. She still had she's still too stubborn to acknowledge it and still called him boy. Multiple times until he asked her why she would do such a thing. And he said, well, I guess you could call me Rand Sedai. Today, I as far as I know, I am the only living male Aes Sedai left who took the oaths.
On a technicality, but he was 270 years younger than her.
He's like, are we going to talk about age? Are we going to talk about power? I'm stronger than both of you. Why are you calling me a boy?
But, and then Rand showed his own humbleness by the next sentence was, now, if only with great age really did come great intelligence. He said that was his next sentence right after that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
but was that directed at her or him?
It was directed to the air, when Rand said that. But
to the apples.
It was still, that was my only issue with Cadsuane, and that was a problem that a lot of the Aes Sedai had, I think. That they had trouble acknowledging when other people should get accolades. Or
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I think there was a difference between his two examples. Sorry, when Nynaeve healed Swan and Liane, Nynaeve was kind of like, "All right, I will be ready for your, appreciation. 3, 2, 1, go." And all the Aes Sedai were kind of like, she was using fire like she was boring through it, just whatever. So there was no acknowledgement there. Cadsuane, though, I think her thing was that she internally or in her mind, in her own point of view, in her own thoughts, gave credit where credit was due, but she didn't vocalize that to people because she did say that Nynaeve was made of strong stuff. And if Nynaeve could kind of get her shit together, she would be a strong Aes Sedai. She would be influential and powerful. But she never said that to Nynaeve.
No,
that was
she
just
never
her
did.
Way. Yeah.
And,
so I think.
And you just brought up my third final example.
Thanks, Dadsman.
You're welcome.
In Cadsuane's own POV, she even said to herself, she never understood why other Aes Sedai never innovated.
Mm-hmm.
Nynaeve Almira was the most innovative Aes Sedai in all the books. Of all time, of all Aes Sedai that there's ever been. Because she did something that none of them could ever do or not.
But you also have to remember, when all of that was going on, Cadsuane was the de facto leader. Hi, Sharnice. I see you.
Hey,
Sharnice. Cadsuane was the de facto leader of the independent third of the Aes Sedai that did not take sides, right? She was the leader of that faction. Okay. That included Aes Sedai who were captured by Rand and were then released by the Io Wise Ones, right? The thing is that she is tower trained. She is the epitome of Aes Sedai. Nynaeve was presenting herself as an Aes Sedai who had not gone through the tests, who was named as an Aes Sedai by somebody who Cadsuane really wasn't even willing at the time to say is a true Amyrlin seat. So the reasons for her treating Nynaeve the way she treated Nynaeve was because Nynaeve needed some humble pie. Nynaeve was full of herself.
True, which is
and
also
Nynaeve
probably
needed to be put in her place, and Cadsuane did that. And Nynaeve ended up respecting Cadsuane because Nynaeve is the person who went to Cadsuane with her tail between her legs to find out what she could do to help save Rand.
All right,
because Cadsuane was acting the most as a wisdom out of all the Aes Sedai.
Yes.
And, right? And like what Jansen was talking about, innovation and stuff, that's what Cadsuane was doing. She literally surrounded herself with Aes Sedai of different Ajas. And
wise ones.
Yes.
And wise ones.
So she was, when I say, where the tower was stagnant, and whatnot, that's what I was saying about Cadsuane. They're out here experimenting with shit with different Ajas.
Yeah.
So.
Right, but I think Beth, yeah, please.
Yeah, real quick. In your defense, Dan. So, I'm gonna create a little narrative right here. So, everything that you guys are saying about Cadsuane are characters that I would not say you guys have because you guys are nice. If in defense of Dan, if Cadsuane was your boss and she fucking slapped you, if Cadsuane was if Cadsuane was your friend and he thought that you and your wife are having marital troubles, your friend just kidnapped you, put you through some sort of personality reboot camp, whatever she fucking does, send you back, all of this again, we don't know if she's using compulsion in any way. She's performing. No. So what I'm saying is yes. No. Wait. So again, what I'm saying is yes. If this woman was in your life and you experienced her firsthand, I don't know if you'd come to this respect. I if my boss slapped me, I'd be bummed. Now, Cadsuane though, here's wrapping it up. Cadsuane, however, is a super soldier who's devoted 300 years of her life to super soldiery. Everything she does is the highest risk thing that a person can do. She is living on an edge, and all of those character traits are necessary for her to be as successful as she is, being the super soldier that she is. So I'm going to put it out there. I disagree with Dan. I've always loved Cads.
Wait, you said to my defense.
No, yeah, because I'm...
Way to shift on boat.
Yeah. No.
You mutineer?
Hey, we're at the 3/4 mark. I'm let's pull the narrative. We're gonna get to the final third. Yeah, I am a Cad's fan. I've always have been because I see what she's at. And all the things you don't like about Moraine. Moraine needs to be that way because she also is
who
a
doesn't
fucking.
Like Moraine?
I think, Beth, you said it perfectly when you said that she exemplifies Aes Sedai perfectly, right? And she does. Everything that the Aes Sedai value and respect are exemplified in Cadsuane. They all try to emulate her. They all try to make queens. They all try to talk down to people. And Cadsuane is the best at this. She is the ultimate person that doesn't acknowledge the people around her or the things that they are doing unless she decides to grant you with the blessing of her favor.
Well, I have 2 pieces of evidence. Actually, I have 3 pieces of evidence. 2 of those pieces of evidence suggest that Cadsuane found a way to take the 3 Odes away from herself. And
all right,
let's get into it.
That she did. Yes.
Well, come on, you started it.
Do it.
The first piece of evidence is in New Spring. She tells 3 Aes Sedai that the next time she sees Moraine, she will cry for a week. The next time she saw Moraine, she didn't do that.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean
because maybe she believed at the time that she was going to make Moraine cry, and then situation changed.
I also have, next piece of evidence.
Is hyperbole, hold on, is hyperbole banned by the 3 Odes?
Swords. Vera Harkin walks in and sees Cadsuane and says, "Oh my God," or maybe it was Karuna Nachimon, said, "Oh my God, I thought you were dead." Cadsuane says to the room of Aes Sedai, the next person who says that is going to weep for a week. And it happened the very next chapter. And she did not make them weep for a week.
I think bravado isn't
Breaking an oath.
Breaking an oath.
Wait, okay, so Jansen, I will have to then. So is she aged up like a Wilder is aged up? Because
that's the last final piece. I think that a piece of evidence showing that how old she is, having to still suggests that she might have found a way to get rid herself of the three O's.
And it is also her like theory. Threatening peers. They are co-workers essentially.
She has also
her saying, "I'm going to beat you."
Yes, that she said straight out to do things that you're not supposed to do with the O's
for a week.
I mean, but there's a difference between.
Yeah, but think about it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beth. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say. I mean, Elida was able to fucking make Egwene bleed, using the power. I mean, she was definitely still under the 3 O's. Like,
they constantly
Custom says, like, don't do that. But the Oath is a different beast.
Right.
And they consistently send Aes Sedai to work camps where they cry their asses off because they screwed up.
Well, and if they fuck up, they birch them in public and stuff like that too. So they certainly can.
They can't use the power to hurt somebody, but they can take a switch to somebody.
But we all see this as a fucked up institution, though. We don't value these values. We see that the management is off. It could be much better and is much better in the future. That we don't need corporal punishment. We don't need a mistress and novice to paddle people into submission. We're evolved from that. So when we say that that Cadsuane exemplifies the Aes Sedai, I think she kind of does. She hasn't evolved beyond this idea of, hey, I have more power in the power. I'm older, so I'm the boss.
That's the heart of the Aes
Sedai. Eat my ass, right?
All right, Dan, do you consider our real time right now, us here, to be more advanced than the people in the Wheel of Time?
I think that we don't have an institution in which people are beating. So in the 80s and the 70s.
Hold on, that's not the question.
Are we more advanced? Yes, we are. So yes, we are.
You were like, in this day and age, blah blah blah.
We have roads.
What's boot camp like? Dan?
Thank you.
Oh, well, no, hold on.
I'm just asking because I'm gonna be honest with you. I took a hand or two. I'm not. And that's just kind of whipped me into shape.
All right, I'm not gonna state
diminish. Yeah.
Yeah, one way or the other. Yeah. I don't think that peers should be hitting fellow peers. I'll say that. And I disagree with just if you've been there 6 months longer, then therefore you can hit someone.
Okay,
And
real quickly,
somebody brought up the wise ones as well.
Yeah, well, it's all devolved. Yeah, go. I'm sorry, Ryan.
Yeah. No, I would like to steer this conversation into that direction.
Yeah.
We were talking about Cadsuane.
So the bully. So is she a drill sergeant? Is that what she's doing? I'm sorry. Go on.
She's a general.
No, she's higher than a general. She's literally like deep state, like
yes.
So here are my questions. I want to bring these topics up and then let you guys duke it out. Like someone's got to rein this in. So one thing that I think that there are two characterological flaws in Cadsuane that I appreciate, and I appreciate that she's not perfect, but they are notable, and they do get highlighted when she meets the wise ones. Cadsuane, for one, has no respect for tradition. Whereas wise ones are steeped in tradition. I'd like you guys to talk about that. And then the second thing I'd like you to talk about is how they trained Aviendha versus how the Tar Valon trains their Aes Sedai.
Okay, so
if Cadsuane was a wise one, could she even allow Aviendha to go up and confront her? Which is what Aviendha had to do to become like a wise one. She had to just be like, you know what, this is fucking bullshit. And they're like, it took you long enough.
Yeah, well done.
There's a huge difference between the two. All right, so you have the Tower. Their tradition is based on politics and studying and blah 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 and being involved in negotiations and all that crap, right? Getting their fingers in everything. Where wise ones, right? So to go back to that, the way they're training the novices is to be the face of the Tower, right? When they go out, wise ones don't give a shit about the face of the wise ones. The wise ones are the wise ones. They're training wise ones with the knowledge of history. They know history and the future and what's coming, and they're training them to be hard as shit because they know they're going to be broken. It's two totally different scenarios.
Yeah, and I think you touched on, if Cadsuane was a wise one, then I don't think Aviendha would have had any problem whatsoever when she got to that point to speak to her, because obviously, Cerilia's apprentices would have to do that for her to become wise ones and had in the past. But I also think the wise ones, and they don't really view the one power the same way the White Tower views.
No, they do not.
So wise ones who can channel, it's just kind of this thing that they can do, and they've stated that throughout the books. They're kind of like, I don't know why it's a big deal. It's just something you can do. Some people can weave baskets. Some people can do gymnastics. We can channel the one power. Whatever. It doesn't make you special.
So
and I think
blacksmiths, weapon makers, right?
Yeah.
People that aren't, they all have their spot. Wise ones dressed a certain way. Blacksmiths dress a certain way. Warriors dress a certain way. That's just the way it is.
So I guess
that is
but
the difference between the white power. So sorry.
Oh gosh.
God
Okay.
damn it.
So let me clarify.
Elon Musk could die over here.
Real quickly.
This costume has gone to my head.
Yeah, the question is not whether if she were a wise one, would she be able to handle that ceremony. I'm saying as she is interacting with the world, she seems to be quote unquote trying to toughen up everyone. I guess get everyone ready for Tarmogeddon. The strategy that the Aiel use is powerful, and she seems incapable of that. And is that like missing in her arsenal? If her whole goal is to try and get everyone ready for Tarmogeddon, like, do you see how that characterological trait, like, Rand, like, it fails with, like, not everyone needs to be like treated that way to like grow.
I don't think her goal was to get everyone ready for Tarmogeddon. I think her goal was to get
Rand ready for Tarmogeddon.
Yep.
Well, let me piggyback off Ryan then. Is what Cadsuane is trying to do with Rand similar to what the wise ones are doing with Aviendha and the other wise ones?
I think that you're dealing with a person who knows they're up against the clock when it comes to Rand.
Mm-hmm.
The last battle is coming, and you see this person who is lacking all emotion, and this is the thing about Cadsuane. She will admit when things are different and might be different, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. And that's the whole forging of the relationship with Cerlia. Their forging of their relationship to kind of like work together to fix Rand. I mean, Cerlia showed Cadsuane how to travel. If you remember that, she's like, out of respect for you, and in Cadsuane's POVs, she talks about the respect she has for Cerlia. And that was kind of like an eye-opener for her in regards to how your ability and the power doesn't have to dictate who you are. And like when you talked earlier about Daigian, right? Like she gave Daigian her props. And I know it's not directly related to Cadsuane, but I think it's interesting that Daegeon has these two different interactions with very powerful people. When she is sitting with Nynaeve and helping train Nynaeve on the weaves to take the test, Nynaeve makes a comment about how as soon as she becomes an Aes Sedai, she'll rank higher than her. And she says, I don't think that's right. That doesn't sit right with me. And it was one of the first times that Daegeon is like respected as a person, like outside of her standing as an Aes Sedai. And the only other person who you ever see deliver that same kind of like acknowledgement is Cadsuane. And
right.
And so,
with this that example, she is using Daegeon to diminish someone else. She is belittling someone else and using Daegeon. Same with Min and that other Aes Sedai, where she's like with the book reading. She's not necessarily complimenting Daegeon or Min. She is using
she's
that
to
but doing so as a way to diminish someone above her who is trying to like.
I don't like her methods.
Yeah, I know. So yeah,
but she is still keeping everyone below her.
No, she's not.
No,
she was just micromanaging little disputes.
Because no one else was getting the job done. No one else was doing it. Everybody else was just kind of like talking in little packs of people about what's happening with Rand, what's going on. Cadsuane is the person who literally came in and took the bull by the horns. Whether you like the way she did it or not,
she didn't say, "Hey, Min, you're right. Hey, that's it," on a private level. She did it to diminish that other Aes Sedai who was going.
Well, this is the thing. Min is also a 20-something-year-old girl. Nynaeve is a 20-something-year-old girl. Cadsuane is 300-and-something years old, has been on this earth, and has seen a little bit more than these children that she is surrounded with.
How many times does Cadsuane... Wait, hold on.
When she did that with Min, she also taught the other Aes Sedai a lesson.
Thank you.
How many times does Cadsuane call younger Aes Sedai, for example, girl
or child
or boy, or
She does the same thing. So it's not just Rand.
They're not peers. It's not
she
sister.
does that to everyone, but it's not because it's the peer thing. I think it truly is an age and a wisdom thing.
Yeah.
Right. When you were talking about training, and how training Avienda and training, whatever, Aes Sedai are training novices to be Aes Sedai. Right. Wise ones are training Aiel to be wise ones. Okay, they're not training them for anything else. Rand needs to be trained in so many things.
Yeah, but Sorely never called him boy.
No, and they approach it.
Good point.
They approach it differently, right? Sora Leia, because in their society they don't have that. They treat each other with respect. Okay. I can't say the same for Cadsuane.
Which we like, right? We like that shit.
Absolutely. Cadsuane's a wetlander. They just look at things differently.
Wise ones too, but
the problem is that the training that they used on accepted or novices and wise one apprentices, that's all they know. So they attempt to use that same training on Rand, and it doesn't work. Because Rand isn't training to be a wise one. Rand's not training to be an Aes Sedai. Rand's training to save the fucking world.
And that is, that's also another difference. Thank you for bringing that up. Cadsuane's whole goal is the world's most. I mean, this is what has to happen.
Yeah.
Like, if Rand loses, everything is over. Right?
And Rand needs to be balanced when he gets there.
And this is one of the reasons why I don't like the wise ones. Yeah, I said it.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. You're entitled to your opinion.
The wise ones are selfish.
It's wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
The wise ones are selfish.
I can't not disagree with. I can't disagree with that.
All right, that's a whole nother show.
They tell everyone from the very beginning. They don't care about the Dragon Reborn. They care about the Aiel. Their entire goal, and Sora Lea's too, is to save as many Aiel as possible in what's to come. It has nothing to do, like, she even tells Cadsuane at their meeting together, before she gives her water, that the Dragon Reborn is in none of our prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Kara Khan, and her goal is to save the Aiel. So that her and Cadsuane, even though they know that their pact to get Rand to cry and to laugh again is what they both want, they're both going after two very different things.
Yeah, and what do they send Avienda to teach Rand? Not to be the Dragon Reborn.
No, how to be a
fucking Aiel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with anything else.
So when you compare Cadsuane to Sorelia, Cadsuane had a lot more on her shoulders than Sorelia did.
Yeah.
When you boil it down to this, and this sounds, it doesn't sound great especially if you're Aiel, but the pattern saved the Aiel to be fodder for the last battle. They needed asses in the seats.
Yeah.
And the Aiel were literally what robots are to Star Wars.
The droids,
they were expendable. They died in waves through the entire.
They sure did.
Yep.
And that's what they were used for. And they even said it as their blood will spill upon the land. The Dragon Reborn will pour their blood upon the land.
But think about that, though. The reason for that is because they were born, raised, and their whole society, right, is based on prophecies and that kind of stuff. Aes Sedai, we had one. Well, we had two. Swan was still at the tower, but we had one that was out there doing her thing, trying to find the Dragon Reborn. Because
she was. So, how much did Cadsuane know about the prophecies? Did she know about Tagara's?
Oh, we saw her learning about them in real time, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. She knew as much as anybody else, and she progressed. Her knowledge grew throughout the book.
Okay. Let me ask you each individually, and there's a couple people that have thrived apparently under drill sergeants and stuff. So let me ask you, if you were the Dragon Reborn, you are Rand al'Thor, and Cadsuane comes into your life and starts trying to direct you, how do you react? And we'll start with you, Beth.
Oh, okay.
I think it would depend on how I met Cadsuane. I think the circumstance, it would be dictated on, like, how did I meet her? Like, what's my relationship with her based on? Is she my employer? Is she
no, you're Rand. You're Rand.
I'm Rand. I don't know. It would depend. Was I Rand when Rand was Randing?
You're Rand.
Yeah, you're in the books.
So then I would probably react to Cadsuane the same way Rand acted to Cadsuane, because of where Rand was mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, everything he was going through. I mean, I don't think Rand's reaction to anything that Cadsuane did was uncalled for based on where Rand was in Rand's journey. Okay. So, I mean, I don't fault Rand for acting the way he acted to Cadsuane because of where Rand was. But again, remember, what the fuck?
But you wouldn't have reacted further. You would have pretty much reacted as Rand did.
I would if
kept
I was
her
Rand,
close, but at arm's length.
What you're saying, you're asking a question. What would I do if I was that person?
You're right.
If I was Rand, I would have done what Rand did.
Okay.
Because Rand did what Rand did, right?
Okay.
Like, and I would not. I don't know how I would react in that situation. I do know how I have reacted when people like Cadsuane have interacted with me.
And that's what I'm asking.
When I was in the army, you buck up or shut up. You do what you're told to do because you're being conditioned. It's more mental conditioning than it is physical. Your body's going to get used to doing the physical labor.
Ryan, I see your hand.
Oh, hey everyone. If you have a second, let's all like and subscribe to the channel. We're doing this every week. And
every week.
Right?
So many weeks. We've probably been doing it close to 300 weeks, right?
All right, and I want to steer the conversation to the point.
Well, no. Can we have everyone finish the question I had asked?
Yeah, my bad.
All right, so Tabarin, if you were Rand, would you have reacted well to Cadsuane?
So, here's my analogy, my military analogy for this. And I'm sure that Beth has experienced this, and whoever else has been in the military has experienced this. I equate the meeting and interactions, initial interactions between Rand and Cadsuane as a staff NCO being basically delivered a lieutenant and told to freaking that they have to listen to what the lieutenant has to say.
That butter bar?
That butter bar.
Yeah. So that's basically what it is. The butter bar is going to come in and he's got to make his point. So he's going to change shit and freaking blah, blah, blah. And the staff NCO is just going to be like, sure thing, Lieutenant, and just go do whatever they have to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's the equivalent. Yeah.
Right, but Rand does not see himself as an NCO or anything lower than lieutenant at all.
He sees himself.
However, Cadsuane does.
Right, but Rand sees himself as himself, and I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of NCOs and staff NCOs they just do their job. They don't want any of this other shit, like Rand. Right? You got to study for your job. You got to do your job. Do the best thing you can at your job. Right? When you get an outside influence like a new lieutenant, for example, and I use lieutenant as an example because that's just a military thing. But anytime you get an officer or somebody who thinks that they are above you come into a new unit, they tend to want to make their presence known, and they just make changes and they do things that make no fucking sense. Right? Because they want to make a name for themselves. And Cadsuane kind of blows into the scene already with a name for herself, trying to imprint that name on everybody's forehead.
Yeah,
right, and we're seeing this in the last month or so in government and stuff. But this, if you are Rand, how do you personally react? You are not an NCO. You have no association. In fact, you don't trust. You don't trust Cadsuane.
If it's me, I'm hard-headed. Not only am I hard-headed, I'm opinionated, and I'm very self-efficient. I'm efficient, and I can do things on my own.
Isn't Rand all of those things too?
He is, but that's just being a human.
Right.
He's also not in a military structure. He is his own entity.
Not true.
No, he makes his own rules. But go ahead, Jensen.
But people follow him.
If I had just been kidnapped by a group of people who not only tortured me, but hurt my wife in the process, put me in a box, starved me, kept water away from me, and then I go back into a city where half of the people were in on it, and an Aes Sedai came in threatening me with that bravado, I would have taken the shot on call and wiped her off the face of the earth.
So are we talking about when they first meet, or are we talking about afterwards? Because that kind of happened a little bit later.
With that kind, I'm being real about my psyche.
No, I get you.
Like that.
After Demise Wells, 100%.
I would have wiped.
But they met before that. Right, so they met.
They did meet before it. She participated
in the whole negotiations when Rand was ignoring her and all of that shit.
Not only that, but do you remember when he was pretending to be the Lord from Andor, and they found Pad and Fane again with
that was in
the Merc. Pad and Merc. Was that later?
After Demai as well.
Okay, yeah, you're right. My bad.
That was at the tent, the big party with the fog and all the bubble.
Yeah, and had Merc.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I wouldn't have taken one word, 1 inch from Cadsuane Sedai.
Oh, listen, after Demise Wells, I would have cleansed the cabinet.
Yep. Drain the swamp.
No way.
How about you, Cadsuane? Cadsuane, you are Rand. Cadsuane comes into your life. How do you react?
I think at that point, Rand has a fundamental distrust of Aes Sedai, and he knows that everyone is trying to control him in some way, or at least he suspects that. And here comes Cadsuane, and his first reaction is she's Red Aja. And she kind of perceives that because later on she's like, I'm Green Aja, not Red, as you probably assumed. So she knows she's coming in with a sort of thing. And the way that she even goes around and, looks at Narishma and she's like, what beautiful eyes you have. And she's throwing everyone off, to do whatever. But I think Rand...
All the better to see you with.
I think Rand, again, like I'm kind of touching on what everyone said. I think Rand responded the exact way that I would have responded as Rand, because he's got this place of, there's no Aes Sedai that I can trust at the moment. He's like, I just don't have that happening right now. And here comes this sort of immense presence, Aes Sedai,
who lays hands on you, who slaps you.
I really do not trust that. And then, she's talking about the tea and hearing voices and kind of like reading him. And so, yeah, I think he responded the same way I would have in that situation.
And
I would have been more Jansen. Oh, go ahead, Tim.
I was going to say, that's when brought up a good point. She is Green Aja, which is the battle Aja that's preparing for war. So if any Aja is going to act like a goddamn drill instructor, it's going to be the Green.
She's also the only Green in her own POV that said she never had extracurricular activities with her warders or men.
Yeah, she should have been a blue. Let's face it. She is not battle.
Yeah, well, Jansen, she could have been lying if she was released from the Oaths.
But yeah, you guys never got to tell me about. I have a question to ask. Now, this is a very crazy theory, though.
Talk to us.
Do you think that if you are an Aes Sedai and you take the 3 oaths, you can use them to let you live long by promising to yourself that you're going to live and through the last battle?
I don't know if the truth works that way, because I could just be like, and I'm going to have
But does the one power work that way?
No, but I think that goes back to your whole thing about I'll make you weep for a week. It's the same situation.
Right. Elida wasn't right.
Another question that would, say the opposite. So I'm asking.
I don't think
Elida wasn't right in her things. Yeah, she said, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it never happened because it never happened. She may have had the intention, and intention means truth, future truth, but I don't think...
Yeah, you can believe something to be true and it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think that there's things that we say in life where we're like, oh my God, I'm going to go kill myself. And we don't mean it as truth.
Well, we
just know that we just...
Cadsuane, my DMs are always open. Talk to me, bro.
Wait.
I'm going to remove the oaths real quick.
Wait. If you have the oaths, are you allowed to say something like that?
Yes, because you are not speaking it as an absolute truth. It's either a figure of speech or a sarcasm or whatever. And while that is a statement of, that's why you couldn't necessarily be like, I don't know, this wig is 40 inches long. It's not. But I could be like, this wig is crazy. And that's a matter of...
Right. Wait, so if you're bragging about sex and I'm like, oh, look at 10-inch dad Swain over here. I don't know, but I could probably say that.
Probably.
Wait, no.
I could probably say that.
I disagree. Like, if that were the case, then an Ace and I could just always say, well, I was kidding.
Well, no, but I also think that
because they have to really believe it. That's the problem. The intention has to be the statement has to be believed fully when you say it. That's why you can't. What was the instance in the White Tower when they were using the oath rod to question people and they made her. She couldn't breathe.
Do 2 different things at once.
Yes, and so it
was Favara and Ciane.
Right, and I can't remember who they were doing it.
Or was it?
No, it was the other one. It was not Taline. It was one of the ferrets.
It was one of the ferrets. That's right. Yeah. It was one of the ferrets because it was what's her name? The person they used Elida's old lover.
Medani.
Medani. It was her, and she was like, because she really truly believed Elida was a dark friend. She believed it, right? And so, or Black Aja. So like, that was her truth, and so she physically was not able to breathe because she had two warring truths going on at the same time. So that kind of shows, like, you can make a statement, and if you don't really truly believe it, you're not breaking the oaths.
What if that's the power of the rod? I was going to say, sorry. What if that's the power of the rod, that it makes you believe what you think is the truth? So, for example, she couldn't breathe because she thought that the rod would prevent her. You see what I'm saying? It's a slippery slope when you start talking about the rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think the Aes Sedai are keenly aware of their reputation. I'm sorry. They're keenly aware of their reputation as not being able to lie for the public. And they know what that means. So if they're just walking around, sarcasming and
yucking it up,
it's going to water it down a little bit, I think. So
could Varen have said that dress is green sarcastically?
Well, could she say I'm green with envy?
I mean, if that was an expression that they used, but the thing is, like, she said that deliberately, knowing that it was a lie.
Could she have said it? Could she have said it without breaking the oaths?
No, because she would have to truly believe that the dress was green. She would have had to have convinced
So there is no
herself.
Sarcasm. Sarcasm doesn't exist then.
No, our sarcasm is because you believe.
Because her intention wasn't to say the dress is. Her intention was to show show Egwene that she was lying.
Right. So, I was just using it as an example.
How many
could she have said it if she didn't mean it?
So how many times in the books do Aes Sedai actually lie by rewording things?
Like every sentence?
Yeah. So clearly you can lie. You can still lie even under the oaths. You just have to word it in the proper way.
Yeah, you can
that's why they have the expression of the truth on Aes Sedai tells you isn't.
Yeah, not always the truth. Yeah.
I mean, just like, and we saw it masterfully executed with in the show when Maureen was saying, "I'm going to visit my sister."
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, mislead is different than lying. Yeah, that's
great. All right, so let me ask the ultimate question then. Was Cadsuane a distraction or a necessity for Rand?
Necessity.
All right, so that's funny. Well, the ultimate question. Well, Dan, let me do a little tie-in. I made a poll. And I think this would be a great thing to end the show on this topic because
this is a great question.
The poll says, could Rand have succeeded without Cadsuane? Now, as it stands, 56% of people said yes, he could have succeeded without her, and I think it's our job to change their minds. All right, because there's 5 of us who believe. And so, let me ask everyone what you guys think, and let's start changing minds. Do you think he could have done it without Cadsuane?
No.
Jansen?
Yes.
Tavern?
Yes.
Beth?
No.
Brother Dan?
We're split. I say he could. He had to, regardless. She was not in the prophecies. Yeah. The prophecies would have been fulfilled without her. She was a busybody who injected herself into shit.
All right. Okay. So I
guess. What
do
you think, Ryan?
Oh, no way.
Come on.
No. Yeah. No. First off, exactly.
Where's she in the prophecies?
Dan, I would love to finish this sentence. You are. I just want to bring it back around, Dan. You have been the Cadsuane of this show. You have been the fucking bully. You are embodying Cadsuane this entire show. I love it. I'm here for it. I think we should take that to the bank. You are what you hate. It's projection theory.
Passion is strong, Ryan.
Young got a chubby in his grave. No, I think Carl Jung, projection theory. I'm sorry. Yeah,
that decision without because it's neither hatred or loving Cadsuane that I made this decision. The reason why I said that I think Rand could have done it without her is because Soralia was still there.
Well, so
but culturally, that's okay. Go on. Yeah,
I was going to say there's two different things, right? So could Rand have done it without Cadsuane? Yes, it would have come out differently, I think, but he could have still done it. Was Cadsuane a necessity in this particular story? She was, or the story would have changed.
You're right. I agree.
I also think that Rand...
She brought Tam. She brought Tam.
I think that Rand's association with Cadsuane...
That man brought Lois Lane to Superman when he came back. I mean, come on. What's the difference?
So Tam's role was to almost be killed. I don't buy it. Come on.
No, but okay, so
he called it for what she was.
Just wait. Think about what happened after that with Tam and Rand. If Cadsuane hadn't had them go get Tam, even though there was a misstep at first, Tam would not have shown Rand how to be confident with only one hand. That swords play that they had would not have happened if Tam was still with Perrin.
Yep. That's and also the very Freudian.
You don't think Lan could have stepped in on for that?
Lan wouldn't. Lan wasn't there.
Yeah,
no, I'm just saying.
Available.
I'm just saying, if instead of Tam, they would have gotten Lan to come out.
No,
you don't think it would have made him confident?
No, because Tam's connection with Rand.
Yes, because he was his dad. It's dad. Yeah, Dad Swain.
His papa.
All right, I would argue that the only better advisor who could have latched themselves to Rand with the intention of getting him up to, able to do what he did would be Tam Althor. If he never left Tam, if Tam left the Two Rivers with him, I think he would have been able to get to that Bodhi Sattva stage that he got to much faster.
I think him and Nynaeve would have been just fine without Cadsuane. I think they would have figured it out.
What?
He had his eyes.
Oh my God, you're insane.
The people who
the
people who
he had his girl.
Let her talk.
Okay, I was just gonna say that he had his girl and he shut his girl out.
Yeah,
and
he blew it.
She was not able to get through to him, and Nynaeve's friendship and lifelong association with Rand was not enough to get through to him. It was really the catalyst for it was Tam. That was the catalyst for it, because it led him to go down that road of going to Abu Dar with the access key in his pocket. He was going to
demolish. He was going to just wipe the place off the earth.
He had to go through everything he did, and Egwene's not mentioned in the prophecies. Nynaeve's not mentioned in the prophecies.
Oh my God! I just realized something.
Go. Yep.
No, talk to me. This just in, guys.
Cadsuane was 100. Cadsuane, Rand would have never been able to do it without her.
Thank you. We just convinced.
You know why? No. You know what just convinced me?
This wig.
No.
The wig. Yeah. Cadsuane's wig.
We forgot about the almighty Min.
Min?
Yeah, because
Min told him he had to have her. He needed it.
Oh, right.
That's right. Her first seeing of him.
Yeah.
Yep.
The almighty Min.
Well, there it is. Fuck, I forgot about that.
She was the almighty.
I hate prophecies.
She was the almighty. So
yeah,
so look at that. So look at that, Dan.
She said she needed. She said
it. So let's tie it all together. The wheel weaves as the wheel wills, and it's human lives that are thread into the pattern. Cadsuane was born 300 years ago. The pattern needed Cadsuane to be born, live her life, and be there at the exact moment she was.
The pattern didn't even have Teslas or iPhones. She was born so old, like she was born in a log cabin, Ryan.
So what you're saying is, since they didn't have
no indoor plumbing,
that the pattern had a better election?
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
No, Dan's just resorting to sarcasm when he loses arguments. It's fine. So
but
how awesome would it have been if Cadsuane would have bonded Tam during the last battle?
Oh.
That would have been hot.
I like that.
It would have been pretty damn sweet.
Her last warder is Tam. Holy shit, that's awesome.
Pretty damn sweet.
Yeah.
Jansen, that's the greatest theory I've ever heard.
Daddy Althor.
Not only because if you look at it, she would have been the Amyrlin scene. Her warder would have been the steward of the two rivers, Amarth, or the second. Oh, it would have been lovely.
Hey, Tam. Hey, Bran, look at my color shifting cloak.
I have one final question to ask you guys about Cadsuane.
Let's go.
Okay. So Cadsuane becomes it's highly accepted that Cadsuane becomes the first Amyrlin in the Fourth Age.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she is going to respect the wishes of the changes that Egwene wanted to make with training, and doing swapping with the Sea Folk and with the Aiel? And do you think that Cadsuane would honor those things?
Nope.
Egwene
is Joe Biden, and Cadsuane is eliminating your mom.
It's Project 2025. The minute she takes over,
I have something crazy to say about
because don't forget, you have a whole bunch of novices now that the novice halls are now going.
Deported.
I think to be honest, I think she will keep the novices. She will open up the age restrictions that they've always had. I think she sees the value in it. However, I think that she is going to keep that same weird structure. There's still going to be someone who paddles novices. There's still going to be that weird physical punishment and shit like that. I don't think she's doing massive changes.
I don't think she's doing massive changes. I don't think she's doing a whole lot of changes. I mean, if it wasn't for what Egwene did, the last battle would have turned out a whole lot differently.
Right.
Really respects the White too.
Yeah, not to mention that all the stuff that happened under Egwene, whether it was her doing or not, for example, the whole little family things with the novices, and bringing in people, the thing with the kin, with the sea, all of that falls right into who Cadsuane is by surrounding herself with the best and the most information possible, right, at all times. And are you kidding me? She would never give up having her fingers in all those freaking little soup dishes. Okay. No way in hell.
No.
I thought that with the possibility that Yukiri and a couple of other people were going to be the only people who knew about it even.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Jason?
I love that, Jason.
The way that they could have found a way to keep that under wraps.
Yeah, I was also going to say, I'm not even sure that she's aware, but I think she's not going to change the structure of the White Tower and the training. That was kind of the point that Egwene was making.
Right.
And I think that she would, in fact, want that agreement to continue because she would see it as a way to create stronger Aes Sedai, more capable Aes Sedai. And that really was kind of her point throughout the thing, is like the Aes Sedai are, And
the novice halls are empty. There's
got to be something they can do.
The Aiel don't ever lose women who can channel.
Yeah, they find all of them.
Yep, they find all of them. So I think one thing she definitely has a lot of reason to think highly of herself.
Yeah. Well, in the how it changes because there's no more last battle. So
exactly
the focus of the White Tower has to adapt a little bit because they don't need Aes Sedai to be warriors per se anymore.
Right.
Or whatever. So because there's nothing that they are moving towards.
Well, you have to remember that in the next 2 to 3 years, somebody who channels is going to have some prophecy. That's going to happen.
Oh shit! We should consider that. But I think that with all the Cadsuane, shit that I'm throwing, I think that the White Tower comes out stronger in the next 5 years. I do think that the structure. I think that she will keep a lot of the toxic elements of the White Tower, which is unfortunate, but I do think that they're not going to flounder. They have a newfound power and focus, and I think that she will build them up.
But you guys also
Go ahead. Sorry.
So you guys also forgot about Egwene's biggest change, where Cadsuane cannot change, and that's with the Hall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That the Amyrlin
And
has
that
to be
was
aware.
that's going to be a big help for her.
Yep.
That's going to be a huge help for her. So I think she's going to keep all that.
I don't think there was anything that was implemented under Egwene that wasn't a wise choice.
Right. Also, let's think. Cadsuane is probably the best Aes Sedai to be in that position to have to deal with the Shan-Chan. To have to deal.
Yeah, I was just thinking the Shan-Chan are next door, and they're in the Westlands now.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think she is going to be the best equipped person to be able to deal with,
because of her relationship with Matt.
But it's weird. In the first week when she became Amyrlin, she started talking about buying Shara. And,
okay, all right.
And making Shan-Chan the
so the sea folk are going to be the 51st Randland state.
For national security, Cinda King.
You guys, why did you have to ruin my night by talking about real world
We
stuff?
love you so much, Beth.
I already have to deal with it in my brain.
We got a new office under there called Dark
All
One.
right. So, how much do you think Cadsuane knew she was going to be involved with the Dragon Reborn?
Dark One government efficiency? Is that
Well,
what it was?
she definitely knew because she inserted herself right back into it. She put herself in it.
Right?
She
Like,
just literally was like...
So, did she know about Moiraine's mission?
No, there's a POV where she says she wished she knew more about it when what's her name? What's Caroline Demodret's cousin was up in the border. She says
Nancy?
that herself. I wish I had known what more of Caroline Demodret's cousin was doing up in the Borderlands when she found her.
Can someone explain why Moiraine is a suspect of Cadsuane? Like, what is that history? I read it in the.
They're in New.
Right, she said, "Don't even trust her." You're right.
Not to Swan.
It's because they don't trust any Aes Sedai at the
So
time.
something
Because they
happened
didn't know who
specifically.
was. Well, because Cadsuane is in Candor, right?
Cantor.
And is in the where?
Cantorin,
thank you. And she's there, and it was right after Moiraine gets raised. It's before she has land as her warder, I believe.
Chachin, sorry, Cantorin is Shan-Chan, right?
No, Cantorin, or is it?
Is it an island?
Weren't they in Candor?
I'm sorry.
The nation they were in was Candor when it happened.
Candor, and then she was in Chachin.
Cadsuane, or no,
Cadsuane.
Yeah.
So anyway, Cadsuane was just there in residence when Moiraine happened to go through, and Cadsuane wanted her to stay there and like become one of her. Like, what are you doing? You're so newly raised to the Shawl. Why are you so far out from the White Tower? Why are you doing? And asking questions, like knowing there's a strange reason why a blue is in the Borderlands by herself, so newly raised to the Shawl. She knew something was up.
Well,
and so
the sisters also look for warders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she also told Moiraine, because she was like, you're putting your foot in things that you don't know about, and you're gonna.
And wasn't she also? Didn't Moiraine also run away because they were going to try to put her on the crown? I mean, on the throne.
Moiraine was also still
Kyrian.
If you remember,
yes, in Kyrian, yes.
Sedai, who already tried to recruit her in that same inn.
Correct.
That they thought she was a wilder because there was also another wilder.
That's right.
That's right. And there's also the fact that Cadsuane did not control Moiraine. And so here we have Moiraine standing right next to the Dragon Reborn. She's a loose cannon. She's been a loose cannon since New Spring.
Yep.
Right? She has no control over Moiraine. So she does not trust her.
She also tried to, Moiraine also was under the impression that Cadsuane was trying to hinder her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's
she was acting wily, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why she told Swan in the next chapter that she thought that Cadsuane was dark.
So to a certain degree, I see Cadsuane, and I don't want to get like uber political, but like as like a Mitch McConnell or a Nancy Pelosi type figure, that the Aes Sedai are like, oh, we just had some major shit happen, and we need our oldest, longest member to take control.
I would say she's more of a Bernie Sanders if you're going to put a name.
I go with Elizabeth Warren.
Or Elizabeth Warren.
Yes.
No, I see him as a Mitch McConnell. She's Mitch McConnell.
I thought she was. I see her. Listen, I see her as Manchin.
Oh gosh. Okay.
In charge of her own little world, but able to stop everything in its tracks just because.
Okay. All right. Are we ending it there?
Yeah, I don't want to, but like, yes.
Sorry, Ryan.
I feel like at this point, like we might have like issues like with like how are we treating our colleagues. Sorry. Beth, I'm sorry if you have any like responses to this. Hey guys, what a great show. Thank you for joining us. This has been Tavern Talk. This is the full panoply of guests. I mean, co-hosts.
This is the crew when we're all together. This is us.
I hope you enjoyed it. This is brought to you by The Way to Leave. You can support us by YouTube membership, Discord, Patreon memberships, and either one of those will get you access to a special Discord channel where we have monthly game nights. The first one we had was super fun. We'd love to have you. Everyone, does anybody have anything to promote before we leave?
Nah.
All right. Hey, everyone, have a great night.
All right.
The Leafcast is moving from Tuesdays at 7:30 to Wednesdays at 7 starting this week. Ooh. I would love to see everyone there. Until then, run for your lives. This is The Way to Leave.